The CEO of Kentucky's 120 counties, including Campbell, is the judge executive, the person charged with delivering the services that taxpayers expect for their money. Two candidates are vying for the Campbell County position this fall, Democrat Ken Recton and Republican incumbent Steve Pendery. Pendery has been judge executive since 1999, and before that he served as mayor and council member in Fort Thomas. He's co-owner of Pendery Insurance and Risk Management Group. I sat down with him and asked him to respond to your questions.
In Campbell County, we're lucky to have the College of Informatics at Northern Kentucky University. And they're putting out some of the brightest minds in communications and technology. My question is the fiscal court, what are you able to do to help keep those folks working and starting their businesses here in Campbell County?
Jerry, that is a great question. I put Dr. Jim Vitruba, the president of the university, on the board of the best economic development agency in the region and the state called Triad. And the relationship helped us develop a strategy for producing diplomas at Northern Kentucky University that are exactly calculated to fill the need for existing business and also to meet the needs of businesses that we're trying to attract into the area. So Triad consults with people who talk about the strengths and weaknesses that the area has, and they let us know what industries should be targeted and which of our most prominent industries need to be fed by a set of diplomas from Northern Kentucky University, among others in our community, to meet the needs. So it's actually true that the information technology people and the College of Informatics folks at NKU are being educated in a college that was devised specifically to produce the diplomas that are needed in Northern Kentucky by our existing people and our targeted industries.
My question for you is, how high is your priority to help the people in need in our community, whether it be the people with low income, getting our young children ready for school, or the elderly in our community?
Campbell County has provisions made for each of the categories that you're talking about. We have senior services that are financed with a tax that was voted by the public for that purpose. It's a payroll tax, and we have over 20 different programs that are actually run by other agencies. We pick and choose according to efficacy, which are the best, and we finance them. We have a Success by Six program in Campbell County that emulates one that was begun in Boone County as an example of the things that we try to do to put people the kids in a position to learn as they grow. And just in general, economic development is a focus for us. The more jobs that you have available in the community, the better off families are going to be. A working wage is the place to start. And actually, Campbell County has had pretty big time success. In the decade of the 2000s, we produced a higher percentage improvement in private sector jobs than Boone County did. And in the years between 2010 and 2014, we produced a higher percentage of primary jobs than did Kenton County. So a number of programs. We work closely with other agencies in our community to try to smooth things for those in need and get them to a better place.
The heroin epidemic poses a real threat to our public safety. Tell us one plan or new idea to help us alleviate this problem.
That is a great question, and one that's top of mind right now. We have our usual priorities being job creation, and our emergency priority has to do with heroin. Just in Campbell County, over 300 dealers have been put behind bars in the last 18 months or so. And you'd be very proud to see how your community has reacted and how many groups there are out there. There's an umbrella organization that's coordinating the effort and covers everything from prevention on one end of the scale through law enforcement and drug interdiction to treatment options that need to be created virtually from scratch. What Campbell County is doing that is unique is that we are going to create a substance abuse program in our jail. The theory being over half the population is in there for some sort of drug-related or heroin-related offense, And while they're enjoying our hospitality and they're being cared for, fed, and clothed, and while, not coincidentally, they are not going to have access to their drug of choice, we're in a position to deliver treatment that actually may have a chance to make a difference. So we're working on a substance abuse program for the local jail as we speak.
Please speak to how you, as County Judge Executive, see your role in promoting and preserving natural resources in our county, including farmland, green space, recreational parkland, and promoting clean air and water.
I like that question. One of the unique attributes of Campbell County, if you look at the region and the state, is that you have access to world-class amenities, sports teams, museums, and so forth at one end of the county in Cincinnati. And in 15 minutes you can be in the middle of nowhere, almost literally. There's been a big emphasis on the preservation of green space and parkland and the fostering of agriculture in the south end of our county. And most of the activity is generated by the residents themselves with a helping hand, I would tell you, from county government. One of the first things I did when I got into office was reorder and reorganize the Planning and Zoning Board so that there was no longer a majority of people from the cities in control of the board that governed economic and zoning activities in the south end of our county, but it was the local population of south end people that did that. And they rewarded us all by coming up with a comprehensive plan that had as a stated mission reconciling the need for growth in order to develop the money to pay for agriculture and green space. And the plan that was developed installed that philosophy in the documents themselves. So we're actively involved in that. There's a citizens group that is helping us develop A.J. Jolly Park, the largest county-owned park in the state, and Pendery Park deserves a mention as a place where kids have scope to do baseball and soccer.
I was wondering how you would define fiscal responsibility and how you feel that you differ from your opponent in terms of spending the taxpayers' money responsibly.
Well, I would define fiscal responsibility as the Campbell County Fiscal Court. We've had 16 consecutive balanced budgets, even though there's been a roller coaster of an economy out there to deal with, as you know, and especially in the last few years. And when you look at expenditure per resident, we have the lowest spending per resident of any full-service government in northern Kentucky. So we're very frugal. And I joke that when other counties think they're being thrifty, Campbell County government is eating possum stew. So there's a big difference there. And actually my opponent has been on the fiscal court for 12 of the 16 years I've been in office, and I would tell you he's a pretty fiscally conservative person as well. So I have nothing bad to say about the direction he'd take things financially, because we've worked together and have done the right things.
I'm an owner of rental property in Newport, Kentucky, and oftentimes I have to get permits to do the work on my property through Campbell County, and it takes quite a bit of time. And I'm wondering, how do we streamline that process to speed it up?
Well, our approach in the past has been, rather than hiring the Northern Kentucky area planning people to do all of our inspection work and a lot of our permitting, we do it ourselves. And I guess I'd be alarmed if the delays you're experiencing are too inconvenient. We would need to try to do better than that. But the philosophy is that with our own staff, we can produce a better product in a shorter period of time, and certainly that's most of the reaction that I've gotten from people, that our inspection is done quicker and more thoroughly with a better bedside manner than when people from the outside are hired in to do the job.
I need to know what you intend to do to make Campbell County more competitive and more aggressive in creating new jobs.
Campbell County has already been very successful in creating new jobs. In answering an earlier question, I pointed out that during the decade from 2000 to 2010, we had a higher percentage of private sector job growth in Campbell County than even Boone County. So we are getting our share of job creation. The fact is that we work best in creating jobs when we work as a region. And Campbell Countyans benefit if their jobs produced in the neighboring counties just by virtue of practical reality. If there's a new job in Campbell County, it doesn't necessarily get filled by a Campbell Countyan. It could be a Kenton Countyan or a Boone Countyan, or God forbid, somebody from Cincinnati that takes a job. So it's important that the entire environment that our people live within be as high quality and as good at job creation as possible. And our regional success at that is greater than any other area of the state of Kentucky. We've had the lowest unemployment rates in the state of Kentucky. We have the greatest job creation by far than any other region in the state, and all 3 northern Kentucky counties have participated in that fully. We're in the top 5 or 10 out of 120 counties, and all the economic and financial statistics that are kept with the state. So we're doing well. We just have to keep it up, entertain new ideas that might be fruitful, and find the practical things that need to be done to improve and get the job done.
Who is the most important person in your life, and what has he or she done that helped you get where you are today?
There have been a variety of people that have had strong influences in my life, but I would point to my grandfather on my mother's side. I worked with him for years, and starting after I graduated from law school. He was raised as a Quaker, and I have to be honest, having been a college kid and going into business with my grandfather, I thought he was naive about some things. He told me that people will perform up to your expectations, even if they have not been a good performer in the past. You need to make your expectations clear, and that will help. He told me, taught me that being a good listener was important. He taught me that leadership is not about being forceful so much as it is trying to inspire people to give their best effort and trying to, praise in public and criticize in private. There are a number of other little pearls of wisdom that he passed along, but essentially it was a philosophy that you need to treat people well, and they'll treat you the same way and give you good performance. And I've tried to do that, even though in politics, as you might know, there's some sharp elbows out there. If you treat people well, I've found, regardless of party and regardless of circumstance, you'll get a better return for the time that you spend with them. It is very difficult to argue with success. In politics, often candidates are faced with a circumstance depending on whether they're an incumbent or a challenger. The incumbent sometimes gets trapped defending a status quo that's less than ideal, and a challenger sometimes is urging change even when change isn't necessary. And I'd tell you where we are in northern Kentucky right now is it's a little bit like this. A challenger of an incumbent is like a lifeguard that jumps in the pool to save Michael Phelps just at the moment he's about to touch the wall in world record time. He doesn't need to be saved from drowning. He's doing just fine. That's the kind of circumstance we're in. Northern Kentucky is recognized around the state of Kentucky as being the most vibrant, job-creating region in the state. And we're envied. It's difficult sometimes to get things from Frankfort precisely because they think we already have everything. And in the meantime, there's some admiration on the part of Cincinnatians for northern Kentucky. They see us as people who have our act together, who actually voice concerns, gain consensus, and then move out in a practical way to get those things that are important to the life of the community. I've been a part of that process my entire adult life. And what I have helped to build, I want to fight for. And that's against all comers. I think I have a reputation for speaking my mind. While I'm a good listener, I think it's much more important as a politician to tell people what they need to know than it is to tell them, as so many politicians do, what they want to hear. And that's my ambition. When I fall short, I expect you to tell me, as citizens, when I am equal to the challenge, I hope people vote for me. And I think I've done a good job.
Before you vote November 4th, make sure you've carefully studied the candidate's position so the decision you make is an informed one. Tom McKean out on your side at the Campbell County Courthouse in Newport.